Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for AspenTech's presentation of Zoho's Intelligent Assistant, or ZIA, and ChatGPT. These are the spring and summer 2023 updates. Zoho's been hard at work. We're implementing integrations with the new ChatGPT from OpenAI, as well as continuously looking to improve ZIA, who's been around for a while, but we're going to see some nice improvements that have been added of late. For anyone who's not familiar with us, I'm going to do just a brief introduction here. I'm Marshall Knapp, your host today. I'm the president here at AspenTech CRM. Personally been working in the CRM field since 1999, and I've been a Zoho certified consultant since 2014. Our company's been in the CRM and related fields since 1994. We've got clients throughout North America, even a few global clients, and they're virtually in all imaginable industries. We're based in Novi, Michigan, which for any of you who aren't familiar with the area, we're in Southeast Michigan. We're about halfway between Detroit and Ann Arbor. And we've got a team here of 7 full-time US-based consultants, trainers, developers, and support staff to help you get the most out of Zoho. This is our agenda today. Obviously, we're going to talk about ZIA and ChatGPT. That's the bulk of it. We'll stay in the presentation here for a little while. Then we'll get into a live demo showing you some of these features. I do want to mention the ChatGPT features demo a lot better in a live environment than the ZIA features do. I'll show you through the presentation a lot of the ZIA features, but most of the live demo is going to be working on some of the ChatGPT items, which are more interactive and are easier to demo with. And then we'll have some time certainly for Q&A at the end. But if you do have questions as we go, you can click on the little question Q&A area and go in the control panel there and post questions. If it's something we can stop and talk about at the time, we certainly will try to do so. But like I said, we'll certainly have some time at the end as well. All right, so just a note on the features that we're going over here. If you've attended some of our What's New webinars in the past, you've probably seen this or heard this. It's important to note that not all of the features and enhancements that we're going to show today are available in all Zoho editions. As you know, there's different Zoho bundles, but also within each individual app, there's different levels or editions of those products. And certain features are available in the different tiers that they have there. Some of these features and enhancements are also still in an early access phase. Not really a beta, but not quite ready to roll it out to everybody in the Zoho world. So you may not automatically see these in your deployment, but you can contact us if you're not seeing these. We can help you get access to them or explain why you might not be seeing them, and certainly work through any of those types of issues. So who is ZIA? ZIA is Zoho's intelligent assistant. It's an artificial intelligence or AI-powered assistant that's built into Zoho. This is homegrown. They created it. They didn't buy this or license it from anybody else. Some of the ZIA features that you may be familiar with already, I can recommend a product based on a previous sales pattern with somebody. They can analyze when clients open emails, answer calls, visit your website, and then recommend when to do something next with them. It can also scrape the internet and provide missing company and contact information, the enriched data feature that you've probably seen in Zoho. It also allows you to essentially talk to Zoho, whether that's you actually speaking, you can do that, or you can use natural language processing as you type as well. Ask it to build reports, schedule a call, schedule a meeting, things like that. And these are things that have been in ZIA for a while. You've probably seen them already. Of course, today we're also going to talk a lot about some of the new things that ZIA can do. For more information on ZIA, that's the main page for ZIA. You can go there, you can check that out, and get any additional information that you might need from Zoho directly. What is ChatGPT? Unless you've been under a rock for the last 9 months, I hope you've heard of ChatGPT, but I'm going to get a little bit deeper into it here and kind of explain this kind of beyond the surface level and what it is and what it's capable of. ChatGPT is an AI chatbot that was built on LLMs, or large language models. Essentially, they allowed this chatbot to, or this system to consume a whole bunch of text, data from the internet, books, things like that, and essentially learn from that. ChatGPT stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. We'll stick with ChatGPT though. That's much, much easier. This was released in late 22, and it really made a significant boom in the last 9 months or so. It can understand and generate human-like answers to prompts that you give it. So, ask it to write a short letter to a friend, letting them know that you miss them. It can do that. Ask it to come up with a condolences something for a card that you need to send somebody. It can do that. Ask it to write an essay about World War II. It could do that too. It can even write articles and poetry and things of that nature. So it's a pretty advanced tool that is starting to revolutionize a lot of industries and a lot of the ways that we do things. For more information on ChatGPT and OpenAI, the company that created it, I've got their link as well there. Just a word of caution with something like ChatGPT. I mean, it's up to every company and organization to implement their own policies and dictate to their users, potentially how they expect a tool like this to be used or what limitations you want to put on it. But you do want to be mindful that this is something that when the content goes into ChatGPT, it's essentially something that ChatGPT is consuming and then further learning from. So it's learning from your content. It's digesting your content. Your content becomes part of the library. So you want to be mindful of that and not put anything out there that might be overly sensitive or certainly under any kind of confidentiality agreements or things like that. And certainly personal information, stuff like that, you want to be mindful of too. So do be careful of that. Nothing in Zoho enables these features with ChatGPT by default. So if you're going to do anything, you will be prompted, you will agree to the terms and all that type of stuff. But I did want to give you that sort of word of warning when it comes to tools like this. All right, so now let's get into some of the exciting stuff here. We'll talk about the new Zia and ChatGPT features that we have. Most of these are centered around Zoho CRM, although we'll talk a little bit about Zoho Desk and Zoho Sign as well. So starting off here, Zoho CRM Smart Prompts via ChatGPT. This is a really interesting one that helps in a variety of ways. So smart prompts are going to pop up in various areas of Zoho. Zia is going to do that for you. But when they pop up, it's actually something that ChatGPT is then integrated with and will provide them the feedback or the information or the response ultimately that you're looking for. So part of this is sharing information, just simply allowing you to do research and look into things much more quickly and easily than you've been able to in the past. And so from a lead or an account record, you can easily go straight from, or even a contact record too, for that matter. But you can go and get information right from there about that company or potentially about that individual. With the company, I mean, asking for things like a summary of what they do. ChatGPT within a few seconds will give that to you. You don't have to go to their website, navigate to where you find their About Us page, get that type of thing. ChatGPT will give you that within a few seconds. If you want to know who their competitors are, ChatGPT will give you that. If you want to know information on their industry or background on who their target audience is, or recent marketing campaigns that they've done, anything like that, financial information if they're a public company, ChatGPT can return all of those results in a matter of seconds. And if you're not happy with the results, one of the other cool things that ChatGPT allows you to do is refine those. You can ask GPT, give me more information, or can you summarize that response a little bit better and make it shorter? Things like that can also be done with ChatGPT if you're not already familiar. And I'll show you some of that in the live demo when we get in there. So another area where the smart prompts will help us is in customer correspondence. So when we open up an email and start to compose that to one of our contacts or our leads in Zoho CRM, we have a variety of options that we can use from ChatGPT. We can ask it to elaborate on some basic ideas that we put out there. We can ask it to improve our word choice, like come up with some alternate wording. We can ask it to pare down something that might be a little bit lengthier. We can go into what's called an open prompt and just ask for some additional context and insight, maybe about the company or things like that. Or like I said earlier, you can ask for a sample of like maybe a condolences or a congratulations, or somebody's kid just graduated from high school maybe, and you want to say a congratulations. Maybe you're having a difficult time coming up with the words. The open prompt would be a perfect way to get that sort of thing, and ChatGPT can give you a variety of options. In the notes area inside of Zoho's CRM, it's going to allow you to take a note and create bullet points out of a longer note. A lot of times people add notes after a meeting really quickly while the thoughts are kind of in their head, or they'll keep kind of running notes as they're going through a meeting that might be lengthier. Sometimes these are a transcription of actual meeting content. So you can ask ChatGPT to summarize these things, provide bullet points, add visuals. Again, you have an open prompt here. There's a lot of cool things you can do within this that are going to save you a lot of time and effort. And campaigns. So if you're creating something like an email template in Zoho CRM, you can have it take content that you've put in there and then refine that based on, you want it to be shorter, longer, different style. Maybe this is a more casual type of email that you're writing, a more humorous type of email, things like that. You can ask ChatGPT to help enhance your content and come up with new wording that jives with whatever selections you're making. Also in emails, you have subject line suggestions. So you start to enter some content into an email. You can leave the subject blank. I know a lot of us are accustomed to probably putting that in right out of the gate, but if you leave it blank, Zia and ChatGPT can actually no, this is not a ChatGPT feature. I'm sorry, this is Zia only, I believe. But Zia can take what you've entered, will figure out what some of the key points are of that, and can actually suggest then a subject line for you. It'll also remind you too if you forget to enter a subject line before you send, and then give you a choice there as well to enter a Zia suggested one, or potentially enter your own as well. Another new Zia feature is image validation. So we can force Zia or require that Zia enforce image validation when you upload an image into Zoho CRM. So this could be a product image, it could be an image of a repair, it could be a variety of things depending on your industry and what types of things make sense. Zoho by itself has a few default categories that are already sort of pre-trained on different things like food and cars and bicycles and that type of stuff. But you can easily train Zia using your own imagery. So if you want to take pictures of wires, or you want to take pictures of roofs of houses, or you want to take pictures of windows or doors, or whatever it might be, as long as it's within reason, relatively consistent. I mean, think about how consistent food is across all different categories, or cars or bicycles. There's a lot of variation. And the AI can be trained to then recognize those images. And then when somebody uploads one, it takes a couple of seconds to validate it. But it will show an error if it could not validate the image. If it shows an error and couldn't validate the image, you can see here how you can still tell it to accept it or remove it. And you can also provide feedback too to the AI to let it know how it's doing so it can improve the model moving forward. Similarly, if it accepts an image automatically and then you go to remove it later, one of the points of feedback is, did Zia accurately validate this image because you're removing it? it wants to know so it can improve going forward. Zia also provides a lot of notifications to individuals in Zoho CRM, but it also can deliver notifications via Click, email, also Slack. Some of these new notifications that Zia is providing are called intelligent alerts. One of those is a competitor alert. So you can actually monitor competitors' activities like changes in pricing, products that they offer, different marketing things that they have going on, or events, webinars, that type of stuff. And actually, Zia will alert you to those types of things through those different channels that we noted earlier. Zia also has anomaly detection. So it'll actually look at your data and try to identify unusual patterns in there, like a big drop or a big spike in sales, odd customer behavior. It's even been known to identify things that led to uncovering security threats like fraud as well. And then trend analysis too. So here again, we're using the AI to analyze some of the existing data that's in there and to generate patterns. But in this case, will help make better decisions about future strategy. So basically allowing you to project into the future what might happen based on past sales, marketing, and those patterns that it identifies. Zia also has something called churn prediction now. So this looks at a lot of various data points from the customer, like purchase history and support tickets and how they're engaging with your various marketing materials. And it's going to predict which customers are at the highest risk of potentially leaving your organization or discontinuing their services with you, those types of things. So this can be very, very valuable to get an early indication as to whether or not a customer might be in risk. It also has something called a similarity recommender now. And what this does is it allows you to identify customers that have participated and engaged with certain marketing materials through other campaigns, or have purchased certain other products through other campaigns that you've done. And then when you're launching a campaign that is similar, it allows you to draw in some of these individuals into that and continue to market to them based on their past history and engagement. So, with the cross-selling and upselling that this allows you to do, ideally that's going to allow your users to easily boost revenue or membership or whatever it is you're going after there. Zia also has something now called Next Best Experience. Zia has for a long time had like best time to contact, where you could recommend when you should reach out to somebody. But what this is actually doing is it's recommending not only what to do, or not only when to do something, but also what to do. And so it's actually looking here at past interactions that have led to successful outcomes, leads being converted, deals being won, things of that nature. And it's going to then make a recommendation on what is a good action to take that's most likely to lead to a successful outcome. We also have Zia lead and deal scores. So this is looking at a record and all the various components of the data that is right there on the record, but also a lot of the related aspects from some of the other connected records. And it's then scoring this record to indicate a likelihood of conversion. The other cool things that Zia is doing now is suggesting macros for users. So macros, different than workflows really. Macros are more typically the step-by-step process that a user would go through, but on a manual basis. And then this is something that allows us to automate that. By looking at user behavior and looking for repetitive activities and tasks that user is doing. Zia can recommend some macros that then would be recorded, and then you could trigger as needed to perform those same actions in that same order without having to do those things manually in the future. Similarly, Zia is also now recommending workflows. So it will analyze, again, a lot of the data in the system, and it will make suggestions on where it feels like you might be able to automate more of your process here. And these would be things that are all taking place behind the scenes to increase your efficiency and productivity. We also have Zia now making record owner suggestions. So Zia can analyze who the owners of the current records are, look at existing data on those records, like where they're located, what industry they're in, what sort of products or services they might be interested in, what they've bought from you in the past. Are they been a big customer to you previously? Are they a small customer to you? Things like that. And then it can recommend the sales rep or the team that's best suited for that particular lead or deal. Also know something called Zia Strategy Influencer. This does some predictive forecasting and some trend analysis, but also provides prescriptive actions that you can take as well. It also allows you to put in goals and objectives, and it'll measure against those and see how you're doing. One of the big things that this does, it actually analyzes some of the factors that are contributing here to the outcomes that you're seeing, and then presents those to you. Like you can see on the right-hand side of the screenshot, the gap analysis for March 15th. It gives you a little bit of a summary of why you're seeing the numbers that you are, which can be very insightful. Also, Zia forecasts. So Zia can now help build the forecasts. You don't have to just manually take a stab at those numbers or do all your forecasting on the side and then plug the numbers in over here. It'll look at past sales performance, what the pipeline looks like, as well as some other data, and then can make a recommendation on what you might consider as the target for a particular forecast. There's also Zia Presentation. Zia Presentation will automatically create slides that you can use from analytics data in the CRM. So charts, graphs, KPIs, those types of things that you have in the CRM can quickly and easily be converted into a presentation. You can also customize that after it's created, and there's a drag and drop interface there for editing. So that's powered by Zoho Show, which is essentially like the PowerPoint of the Zoho world. Also now have the ability to create custom intents for emails. Zia, for some time now, has had the ability to do some email intelligence, where they had a handful of system-defined intents. But now you have the ability to create custom intents and train Zia to recognize them. So like, complaint, congratulations, things like that might be some of the system ones. But maybe somebody's inquiring about a quote, and maybe that's something you really want to draw out and measure. How many emails are we getting requesting quotes? You can train Zia to recognize a request for a quote and then tag those emails with that intent moving forward. And then, of course, you can take action, automation, reporting, things like that based on those intents. Also have Zia call transcription and intelligence. So if you have a voice over IP or VoIP system that is linked with Zoho, and it's one of the systems that it allows for call recording, then with a combination of those things, Zia can transcribe the phone calls. Once Zia has transcribed the phone calls, Zia can also summarize the call, assess the sentiment, as well as the intent of the call and the emotion conveyed. All very interesting. So, imagine a sales manager or anybody who's looking to do any sort of oversight of how calls are going and things like that, to be able to view this type of data quickly and easily can be very powerful. Shifting gears a little bit, everything we covered up to this point was CRM focused. I want to talk a little bit about Zoho Desk. There's really a couple of cool things that we can do now inside of Zoho Desk here too. So with the ChatGPT integration, now we're getting back to ChatGPT, but with the ChatGPT integration inside Zoho Desk, it can summarize the existing message that you got from somebody, so you can read that quickly and easily without having to go through paragraphs of text. Here again, it can assess their sentiment or mood and let us know, is this something that they're frustrated or inquiring about something, different things like that, which is very helpful. And then in addition, when we go to reply to a message like this, we can also get additional information from the knowledge base and even start to have the system compose a reply for us, so we don't even have to worry about it. I'll show this really quick here, but I can also show this when we get into the demo too. You just click generate response there. It creates a response. You can paste that into the ticket, or if you didn't like it, you can hit regenerate. And it's really pretty cool how it does that. I'll show you a couple of different things, examples of tickets that I have in our demo environment. And it's kind of the same gist of a ticket, but we'll see how it handles it two different ways based on how the customer inquired with us. And then we also have integration with Zoho Sign. So this is another ChatGPT integration, but it can take agreements and contracts that you have in Zoho Sign that maybe you're being asked to sign or you've uploaded it to sign yourself, and then it can summarize that for you, which will save you time in reviewing that. Maybe obviously you still want to review the entirety of the agreement or have your attorney do so, but sometimes it can be helpful to get a quick, simple summary of an agreement, especially when you first receive an agreement. You might not want to read the whole thing if you disagree with some of the major terms, right? And so getting a quick summary can be very. All right, let's get into a live demonstration here. But before we do that, I'm just going to double check and see if we've got any questions coming in. Not yet. We're doing good. Okay. So let me exit out of here. All right. So we're going to start by going over some of the various smart prompts that we have here now inside of Zoho CRM. We have a lead record here, Elon over at Tesla. And when I pull this lead record up, one of the things I'm going to see if I hover over the company name is this smart prompts icon. This green icon here with the sort of like lightning bolt and the little text lines next to it, that's going to be your indication that ChatGPT and Zoho are integrated here and are doing some work together to provide you some information. So if I click on that, it actually comes up with a little sub-menu. I've got a few different prompts here that I can start with. Let's just say growth potential as an example. So what this is basically doing is trying to figure out what is Tesla's growth potential. Is this a good company I want to start to work with here? I want to start to sell them from some things and get in business with them, or is this somebody maybe I want to shy away from? I'm going to be worried about their credit in the future or things like that, right? And so in this particular case, you can see how this comes back quickly and easily with a very positive review of Tesla's growth potential. Give me just 1 second here. I'm going to switch my audio momentarily. Hang on one moment. Test. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me again. You can give me a thumbs up with the emojis there. I'd appreciate it. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So we were talking about the smart prompts here from a lead record, learning more information about the company. I chose growth potential to start here. And you can see obviously came back with a positive review of what Tesla's growth potential is and where the future market might be for their products. You can do other things here like a competitor analysis. So tell me more about other companies that might be similar to Tesla. Maybe I want to also target them and they might be customers for me as well. Or it might just be helpful information and talking points when I'm working with a new lead like this. So you can do some cool things like that. It'll give you some suggestions down here. You can even refresh the suggestions to get more. Overview is a kind of cool one. So just give me a background and overview on the company. Or I could say something like financial information. It'll give me their financials. So pretty handy stuff there with the ChatGPT and smart prompts. Now, one of the other things this does is help us in composing emails and other correspondence. So if I go into an email here, we've got some content. I'm just going to copy and paste into here real quick to make this easy. So I put a bunch of content in here. I typed an email. It automatically put in a subject for me. If I don't like that, I'm welcome to type in whatever I want, put my own subject in there. There's no problem with that. If I leave that blank, though, it's going to suggest one for me. I can also click on Try Smart Prompts down here as well. So from here, if I want to open prompt and say, let's do something here. Let me please provide a congratulations for graduation. So you can do something like that. And I say, sorry, congratulations for son's graduation or something like that, not his own. I can do that. And I get different prompts there. So lots of different things there that you can do with the smart prompts, rewording things, asking for some additional content, again, with the subject line. So that's all handy there. I obviously don't want to send that. Close that out. In the notes area, we've got some abilities there too. Let me grab a note here. I can copy and paste in. It's interesting, when you're composing a note, you'll get some different smart prompts here. And these are going to be different than when I save this. So let me save it and then go back into edit it and do this again. Now it has things like, expand key points, clarify purpose, add relevant details. Those are all quite a bit different than what I had in there previously.
So depending on where you are in the composition, whether or not the record's been saved yet, how much Zoho's had a chance to look at it, you'll actually get some different prompts within there that are contextual depending on where you are in the process. One of the other really interesting things that this will do now is the image validation that we mentioned earlier. So if I go into products here, um, let's do, I'm just going to create a new product here. We'll call this new car X, and I can add a product image, okay? And I'm going to drag and drop an image of an apple over here. And I'm going to crop that so we get just what I want. Maybe a little bit of that book below it, that works. I'm going to say crop and set. So I've got that image in there now, but I'm going to save this and you'll see what happens. The image for this product says Zia is validating it right now. It hasn't actually displayed that image yet in this particular product. And if we give it a couple of seconds and then we refresh, we should get the results as to whether or not it validated it or whether or not it was an invalid image. Yeah, so you can see there's a red exclamation point there. So I got image validation failure. If I click on this, this is where I can go in and say, no, this is actually a car. I really want this to go in and accept this. And if I do that, then the AI model will learn from that, and it will probably be more likely to accept things that look like apples in the future, even though I'm really looking for a car here. And if I want to see, what is acceptable, I'm like, hey, why doesn't this work? I'm confused. I can do that, and you can see some of the training images that Zoho has already used for cars. If I created my own image set and uploaded my own training images, that's what you'd see here as well. So in this case, it's not the right kind of image. We don't want that in there. And we're going to go ahead and remove that image then. It also wants to know, did Zia make an error? And I'll say no, Zia was accurate here. Zia did the right thing. I wanted to upload a car, and I uploaded an apple instead. But I can go back here. We can try again. And let me grab a car image this time. Put that in there. And we still got a lot of other stuff going on in the background here, like trees and a road and stuff like that. It's not just, a car on a plain backdrop, right? And then we're going to say crop and set. And again, give that just a couple of seconds. I wish they would auto refresh this. Probably something they're looking to improve. It's not there yet, but we got to refresh it ourselves for now. And there's our image of a car. I loaded it just fine without any issues because it is indeed a car. Now, if that was incorrect though, I could also remove this image, and you can see here, if I wanted to provide feedback indicating, yeah, Zia was wrong, that wasn't actually a car, but it was in this case, so I'm going to leave it there. Let me pop over to Zoho Desk. So I've got a couple of different tickets here in Zoho Desk. Both are relating to a password problem. So this person says, hi, I need help resetting my password. Thanks. Pretty simple, straightforward, nice enough email, right? So this is a ticket we got in here, and we're going to go ahead and reply to this. Over in the Zia, powered by ChatGPT here, we see ticket prediction. It says unable to predict the ticket mood. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of content here, right, that it can go off of. So not really able to say, is this person happy, sad, upset, frustrated? Can't really say that. And we don't really need a ticket summary here, but it does it anyways. User needs assistance resetting their password. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? What I can also do too is I can go over to the reply assistance though. Now, I've probably dealt with hundreds of tickets like this in the past, but instead of actually having to type out a reply, you get a reply suggestion generated by ChatGPT. And you can easily paste that right into the ticket. Oops, I did it in the wrong place there. Cursor back up there, paste a ticket. There we go. So you can do things like that. And we did not train ChatGPT to say we need a username or email address. It just knows that these are the logical things that if somebody's resetting a password, you might need. So that's all ChatGPT coming up with stuff like that. If you don't like what it came up with, you can also regenerate, come up with something different. And then the other really interesting thing is too, when you go to a different ticket, it's of a similar nature, but check out the verbiage here. So hi again, I'm having trouble with my password still. I can't believe this continues to happen. I'm beyond frustrated. Please help me reset the password once and for all. Obviously a very different sentiment or mood tone to that ticket, right? So when we go to reply on this particular one, you see ticket mood, frustrated, and it's in red, so it really jumps out at us. And it says why they're frustrated, difficulty resetting password. And then under the summary, it understands that these are ongoing issues. Nowhere in here does it say ongoing, right? It says I'm having to still, continues, once and for all, things like that. But it's able to generate that as a summary, knowing that, knowing the things that it does and using the power of AI here to give you a quick summary. And then here again with the reply assistant, this is great because this actually takes into consideration the fact that this user is frustrated and creates a reply that is not just the same one that we put over here. Sure, I can definitely help you reset it. Can you please provide me with this? I'm sorry to hear that you're still having trouble. Let's work together to get this resolved once and for all. So, I mean, this is really powerful to sort of eliminate the need to a degree for somebody like a support agent to really think through these things and type up an email that's, matching the context of the situation. ChatGPT can handle that type of stuff for us. So I'm going to jump back to the presentation now. As I mentioned earlier, the ChatGPT features demo well. They're easy to see. They're interactive. A lot of the ZIA features are more sort of after the fact, analyzing data, predictions, stuff like that. You'll see a lot of those in your system, like the screenshots I was sharing with you. And there's a lot of help documentation on those as well if you need some more insight. But a lot of those are best seen kind of firsthand within your system, your data, those types of things. But happy to help you get going on those any way we can. So speaking of that, how can AspenTech, the CRM, help you out here? We can help you by getting access to the features in other Zoho editions, or if it's in an early access stage, just let us know. If you're not seeing it already in your system and want some help getting access to it, we're happy to help you there. We can help in configuration and customization of these features as well. We've been exploring these features, many of them for several months, or maybe even a little bit longer than that. And so we're pretty well versed in these. We know how they're supposed to work. We know what a lot of the options do. We know how to apply them in your unique situation. So talk to us if you want some help implementing these. If we need to extend these or any other areas of Zoho, custom development, integrations, those are specialties of ours as well. We can help you with training on either these features or other features of Zoho. And we do that online or in person, and we can provide that at multiple different levels within your organization. And we can also help with ongoing technical support too. Phone, email, we can schedule online meetings, things like that. So let's take some time here. We got about 15 minutes left in our hour. Certainly enough time to address some questions here. I'm going to bounce over and see if we've got anything going in the Q&A. I'm sorry, I'm seeing some feedback that the audio is not great after we changed the options here. You guys hearing me okay though? I hope so. I'm sorry about that. Had some lawnmowers outside here and I wanted to switch to a headset so we weren't picking up the background noise. So I wanted to address a question here. Do these features cost more? Like, are they add-ons or extensions, things like that, that actually need to be purchased? I'll say for the most part, no. You wouldn't necessarily add it on like an extension or a marketplace item, but the features are going to vary, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, by Zoho edition. So if you're on, say, Zoho CRM Professional, you're not necessarily going to have access to the same things that somebody on Zoho CRM Enterprise does. But if you're in something like Zoho One or Zoho CRM Plus, that includes Zoho CRM Enterprise, so then you would have all those same features available to you. But that's some of the stuff we can help you navigate. If you're interested in something and you don't see it, let us know and we'll help you figure out why. The other thing I want to mention too is ChatGPT. ChatGPT does have a free version. And with the free version, you will get the same capability to integrate with something like Zoho, but you're going to be limited in how often and how much you can use their service. And so if you're going to use it for your organization, you'll probably hit those limits very, very quickly. If it's just going to be for personal use, you might be able to get by with that. But if it's going to be for organizational use, I would say you're probably going to need a paid account with ChatGPT. Relating to some privacy concerns about ChatGPT, I mentioned those earlier. Someone wanted to know, is their data secure with Zia? Yes, Zia is Zoho's own in-house, they built it from the ground up intelligence tool. And all of the data that Zia uses, unless you integrate with external services like ChatGPT, is going to stay right there on Zoho servers. And Zoho is very, very, very strong in their privacy policies. They believe in, not certainly not selling anybody's information or providing it to any external sources without your permission. So all of that data should be perfectly secure within Zia. But do be careful about external services, whether that's ChatGPT or even like a Google Translate that you could plug into, things like that. You do want to be mindful of where that data is going. Happy to stick around if there are any additional questions. We will be sending out this recording along with the slide deck to everybody who registered for the webinar. So if you do need to drop off or if you weren't able to attend the whole thing, you will get all of the content either way. Happy to stick around for a few more minutes if there are any additional questions, but a couple other things while we're waiting here. We have a Zoho meetup. If you are in the Detroit area, we have a meetup coming up on September 14th that we're hosting at our office in Novi. We're also going to be participating in the meetup on Tuesday, September 12th in Cleveland. If Detroit's not convenient for you, but you're still up here in the Midwest. And then coming up about a week later from there, September 21st, that's another Thursday, we have our next webinar like this that's going to be covering Zoho CRM and the Finance Suite integration. So how primarily Zoho CRM and Zoho Books interact with one another and what kind of efficiencies and benefits that can provide. So keep an eye out for our emails. We'll be sending those on Thursdays like we typically do for registration, and hope to see you on some of those future events as well. Thank you everyone for your time today. We're going to go ahead and wrap this session up. I appreciate you joining us. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks again.